Okay, so I'll just start at the top with the sinuses in the head. We've got the superior sagittal sinus up here, the inferior sagittal sinus, and the straight sinus, the transverse sinus, and the sigmoid sinus. The brachiocephalic veins make the V, and then there's the internal jugular on either side, the external jugular right there. The brachiocephalics are going to turn into the subclavian under the clavicle, like once we pass the internal jugular, it's the subclavian now, and then once we pass under the clavicle, now it's the axillary. The subscapular, right next to the subscapular artery. The internal thoracic vein, the blue one right next to the internal thoracic artery, and the intercostals would be the blue ones between the ribs. Coming off of the axillary is the cephalic. Then you've got the brachial, and then the basilic. The basilic and the cephalic come together in the inner elbow to make the median cubital. Then the radial and the ulnar, the palmar plexus, and the dorsal plexus. The gonadal, right next to the gonadal arteries. The inferior vena cava is the great big one that goes behind the aorta. And it splits at the bottom of it into the common iliacs, just like the arteries. The internal iliac and the external iliac. And then once we're in the thigh, we have the great saphenous vein, the femoral vein, and then the deep femoral vein. Behind the knee is the popliteal. And this great saphenous, almost made it, you only missed two. The great saphenous kind of cuts over to the lateral side in the lower leg, and it becomes a small saphenous. So there's a great saphenous, small saphenous. Now for the anterior tibial, posterior tibial, and the fibular, it'll be book or APR only.